Good morning, good morning, good morning. How y'all doing today? Well, I'm here because I have something to say. I was here yesterday and I wasn't going to come back for a while, but I have something to say because I've been noticing some things and I just wanted to bring it to your attention. Today, first of all, is Juma for us believers, so Juma Mubarak to all my believers. And Lord, please guide my tongue so I do not be cussing on here, because I do be cussing too much. And Lord, I ask you to remove that from my speech and remove it from my life. Amen. Okay, every time it's a Ramadan, I try to work on a different flaw within myself, and I pray for God to remove it. And one of my biggest flaws is my temper. And God's been helping me with that. So alhamdulillah, praise to God for helping me with that. So now we're going to work on our speech. And yeah, okay. So first of all, let's give you some Puffy news. They say Puff done got into a fight in jail, child. Puffy done got into a fight in jail. Puffy had to go off on somebody, I guess. You know, a man can only take so much. So apparently somebody in the drug program was bothering Puff, stalking him, following him. And he had to swing on him. And apparently Puff beat him up. Now, one thing Gene Deal, he would talk bad about Puff, but one thing he would say is Puff ain't no punk. And apparently something went down. Puff had to hit the dude, beat him up. The dude pulled a knife on Puff, and both of them in the drug program. So now Puff is in the SHU. And the SHU in the Federal Bureau of Prisons is a short acronym for Segregated Housing Unit. And it could be implications to that, because Puff is on short time. And that could mean his short time could be pulled. You understand what I'm saying? So let's pray for Puff that it doesn't, you know, affect his record, because he has been doing good. He has been doing the free game with Diddy courses and helping out people while he's in there and trying to get their life together. And as far as you know, a man can only take so much. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't condone violence, but I understand. So that's that. So here's some news about Puff. That's what's happening. And if you want to be updated on all things Puffy, subscribe to my homeboy's channel, the podcast with Soul with Sean G, and he'll keep you up to date on everything to do with Puffy. Okay. The second topic I want to talk about is this restaurant in California, in a city called Westchester, called the Coffee Company. And apparently a young man went in there to pick up his order, and he questioned his surcharge because it was a call-in order. And an exchange happened, and at the end of the exchange, the dude must have said something about his black dollar, and the owner or the representative of the owner said, "We don't need your effing black dollar. We don't give a F about your black dollar." So the dude has posted the video, posted this interaction and what happened from his side of his point of view, and that post has gone viral. And it's going around, circulating around. I don't know who the person is, because, you know, I don't be there half the time no more anymore. So that's what I said, who is this person? So they explained to me who the person was and, you know, what happened. And, you know, everybody was like, boycott this place. So now people was coming out saying, I've been there, it's a good place for meeting, you know, have some social conversation. The food ain't so good, but it's a good place for meeting and a good ambiance. But people was like, yeah, because this happened, because this guy said this happened, and the people said, the establishment representative said, we don't need your black dollar. Black folks is like, yeah, we own that. We ain't going there no more. F that. Food wasn't no good anyway. So I'm looking at that. I've never been there. I don't know nothing about the place. So I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm trying to find my my climate button to make certain all my vents are on deck, because it's a little hot. But yeah, so I'm looking at that. Then I noticed this one post that was contrary to all the others. There's a whole lot of posts about it. So dude was like, hold on a second. Hold on. I had to give me a tissue because my eyes watering. But yeah, I seen this one post. It was like a shot in the dark, and the person said, okay, let's be fair. I've been going to this establishment for years. I enjoy the food, and I've never had a problem. So what's the deal? What's the beef? You know, he said, I think, well, she or he, I don't know who, I think it's a female that posted it, but let's say it's a she. She said, I think cooler heads need to prevail. I think a mediator, somebody that has some no skin, no fight in this game, be the mediator, sit down, talk to the owner of the establishment and the person who initially said the complaint, and let's address the community. Let's address the black community, and let's talk about how the restaurant really feels, because they feel the person who said it is a representative of, why is all these vents closed? The dude that detailed my car closed all these vents. That's why it's cold and hot as hell in his car. The vents closed. Anyway, I said it wasn't because, God forgive me. Anyway, so that sounded like a good idea to me, right? But at this point, black people were like, nope, we boycotting them. We don't want to hear it. But I think the perpetrator who allegedly said the racist statement is not the owner. I think it's a representative of the owner, because the owner looked like an older gentleman. The person that's in the video and the pictures from who they alleged said it is a younger gentleman. Now, he might be related to the owner. He might be the son. He might be something, because they look like they both the same nationality. Okay, not sure what nationality, but look Middle Eastern. So I'm like, I'm sort of on both sides. The absolute 100% boycotting of businesses that got beef with black people, I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. Okay. However, in a case where you got conflicting experiences, I do think a mediator is a good idea to sit down and address the community that's been supporting you. And this rush to want to shut down businesses because of a minor infraction is, I won't say troubling, but it is a cause for concern, and I'm going to tell you why. We would be willing to sit down with a mediator to discuss a racially charged issue between the general public that supports you and your business, so your business doesn't go out of business and lose money. However, if it is a black establishment and it involves a black customer who has an issue, it's absolutely trashing them, bad-mouthing them. I'm never going back to them. There's no second chances. There's no let's talk about it. There's no nothing. It's cancel them. We ain't supporting them, period. My point to you is this. We are so quick to cancel each other and hate each other, but we are willing to give the others a chance. Which leads me to the Nolan Wells situation. Rest in peace to Nolan Wells. I'm not going to go into all the details of the case, because if you want to know all about that, there's plenty of TikToks, plenty of videos on the merits of what's going on with that. But the one micro issue I want to pinpoint in the Nolan Wells case and in the Carmelo Anthony case is there's a swath of people that doesn't look like us that have something to say on each instance. And in particular, in the Nolan Wells case, when his friends came back from the island, they all deactivated or deleted their social media, and they went radio silent and off the air. One of them is related to a judge. It's her stepson is one of Nolan's friends. He's currently doing interviews right now with this dude called himself Officer Tatum, who is the Uncle Ruckus of YouTube, okay? Uncle Ruckus. Uncle Ruckus. Don't trust them new niggas over there, okay? Don't trust them new niggas. But he's interviewing with this young white boy named Wayne or White. I don't know which one his name is, but he is giving this boy the benefit of doubt, and he's cheerleading for him and saying you're not guilty. And as you know, a large population of the black community is saying, if you're the only black person in the friend group of white friends, don't go nowhere with them. And if you do, make certain you got another ally with you. And it has exploded. But the point I'm trying to make, the micro point I'm trying to make is, them white people is on code. And they sticking together. Whatever their point of view and whatever their issue is with the black population as it relates to the passing of young Nolan Wells, rest in peace, and the unfortunate incarceration of Carmelo Anthony, Free Mello. Yes, it's Free Mello on mine. You can say what you want. It's Free Mello on mine, okay? I'm like, them white folks is on code. Right or wrong, good, bad, or indifferent, they are on code. Now I'll go back to people who look like me, the African American community. We can't stay on code for shit. Now this man came out and said, this was my experience in this restaurant. It was racist, and I won't support them. He didn't ask for people not to support them. He said he's not going to support them. People jumped on the bandwagon and said, you know what? I'm not going to support them neither. But here comes this Lone Ranger in the dark, this female who makes a post and says, well, hold up. Let's not rush to judgment. Let's talk about it. Let's have a mediator. Let's talk about it. And I'm saying, why ain't you on code? What is your deal? Why ain't you on code, miss? Why you got to be the one attention-seeking ass? Why you got to be the one attention-seeking person? Lord, help me. Help me through this, Lord. Help me. Gotta have something to say. Why you gotta come in and want to cheerlead for somebody that don't look like you? Okay, let's be fair. Your experience might not be his experience, but that's his experience. And because you've had a different experience, does it negate his experience? He didn't call for a mass boycott. He said he's not going there no more. People joined him because obviously certain people have been feeling the same way for a long time. Now they got something to sink their teeth into and stand up behind. Black people, we are so lost. We are hated by everybody. And we don't even like each other. Hell, some of y'all don't even like yourself. I don't know what type of mitochondrial DNA interruption your generation ancestry line experienced, but I'm asking you on this here holy day for me, is to stand down, and get on your knees and pray for whatever disrupted your ancestry and your DNA to remove itself, so you understand how to stay on code. Now you may have a difference of opinion of what's going on, but 9 times out of 10, when a person who looks like you says there's an issue here, 9.9 times out of 10, it's an issue here. See, we don't cry foul until it's foul. And oftentimes it's foul. For you to be the Lone Ranger and feel comfortable enough to come out and negate an issue which you did not experience, you did not witness, you out of line and you out of pocket. So to whoever that lady is, and I saved the post so I can go back and reference their name, but I'll share it and I'll show it to you in the comments of this video. I just didn't like that. I didn't like that, even though that might be her side of the story. What she should have done in that situation is shut up. Shut up. You ain't got to say nothing. You ain't got to cheerlead for the other side. You don't know what this man's experience is. The dude probably did say something about he don't need his black dollar. And so since you don't need the black dollar do not need to be spent there any longer. My cousin, Roy Rice, the famed comedian, posted a snapshot of black restaurants that you can go to in the area instead of this coffee company. And I'll post that in this video too, in one of the comments. So you'll have an option if you choose not to want to support this coffee company place again. Okay, I'm not familiar with all the breakfast spots and all that stuff in Los Angeles. I say I don't be there half the time anymore. However, the fact of the matter is, there are options that you can spend your money in that appreciate your black dollar and that's black owned. Okay, so black people, we need to stay on the code. When Willie Lynch wrote his letter, in the first paragraph or two, he says that the author of the Willie Lynch letter, he says something to the extent, and I'm paraphrasing now, he said, listen, I did this social experience on my plantation. And I'm telling you, what I did works. And if you do what I tell you to do, you're going to have them darkies messed up in the head for the next 400 to 450 years. Now I'm going to give you some homework. Go look up the Willie Lynch letter and see when it was allegedly written. And I say allegedly because there's a group of people who say that letter is false. It never happened. It's debunked. And it's black people. They'll come out cheerleading for the fact that the Willie Lynch letter never happened. Like none of this stuff that they did to people who look like us never happened. Hey, we wasn't back there in that time, so we don't know if it did or didn't. But we do know the effects, and we do know the actions actually did happen. So whether the letter was written or the speech happened or whatever went down, the actions that are depicted in that letter happened. But go back to the time when they say it allegedly happened, was written, or the speech occurred, and add 400 to it, then add 450 to it, and see what year you come up with. Come back to my comment section and tell me. Tell me, have we exceeded the 400 to 450 years? Or are we just at the 400 to 450 years? Or do we got a couple more years to go before we reach that 450 years? Cheat code. We've exceeded it. The mitochondrial DNA interruption of the African American is so severe that it is a mental issue. There is no way on this planet I'm going to publicly disagree with people who look like me to cheerlead for the other side. You can take the high road and say, I'm just being fair. Now ain't the fucking time. Because too many, everybody hate us. Everybody. We hate each other. We got beef with each other. Right now, in my head, I'm thinking of who I got beef with. And I'm a person who holds grudges. One person I got a beef with ain't even alive no more. Somebody mentioned her name to me and I was like, and you know, afterwards I felt bad because the person ain't even here no more. That's how long I hold a grudge. And she looked like me. It's an individual that I got beef with. What they did to me happened in 2016. May 2016 to be exact. And if you know me, you know what took place in May 2016. We went viral. We went viral because we brought Moore's Day and the Time back to LA for the first time in years. And just so happened a month before, Prince had passed away. Something happened at my event. A woman allegedly said some stuff about me because things were happening at the event that were out of my control. And as a business owner and as the producer of the event, I took and accepted responsibility and I took corrective action immediately. I tried to remedy the situation. However, this person I thought was my friend or ally or at least a colleague, because we in the same industry. We produce events. Now they don't produce events on the level that I was producing them, but you know, when you start here and they started here, but you hear and they still here, that causes jealousy issues in the community to people look like me. So the first sign that they got something to say, they had something to say. But when I confronted them about it, they like, I didn't say that. However, the person who brought it to me videotaped them saying it. So you can't dispute the video. However, I questioned the person who brought it to me because a dog to bring you a bone will also carry one. And the person who said it, it ain't no allegedly said it, they said it, I cut them off. Now I voiced my concern to the people that are close to me what happened. The people that are close to me wouldn't know this person unless I introduced them to them. One of them said to me, I can't believe they would say that. And they continued to have dealings with this person. Now you wouldn't know this person if it wasn't for me. But you're supposed to be a person you call a family member. Where did your loyalty lie? Right? Let me know who you are. And anybody else that want to participate with this individual after I done told you what they did. You say, this is what I found out about the West Coast. They say it didn't happen to me. It didn't affect my relationship with them. Me and my relationship with them ain't that experience. So why should I be mad at them because you mad at them? That's the experience that I've experienced on the West Coast. But where I'm from, I ain't from this weirdo ass place. Where I'm from, we are taught as small children that a friend of my enemy is my enemy too. So my natural position is, when you pick a side, I pick a side. And the side I'm always going to pick is my side. And if you choose the other side, you stay the fuck over there. You ain't welcome on this side no more. Ain't no ifs, ands, or but about it. I'm not having no conversation about it, because one thing a Virgo does not tolerate is disloyalty. That's like number 1.1 on the list. The second thing they don't tolerate is no appreciation, because we do things from the heart. That's a whole nother topic at another time. But I want to tell you that scenario, because in that scenario, everybody involved looked like me. So when I say we are hated by everybody and we hate each other, I just told you a scenario where I have a situation that I've been holding a grudge for years, and anytime I see anybody associate with this individual who lied about what they got caught saying on video, and I done told you what they did, and you choose to continue to deal with them, you can't deal with me no more. I don't hate you. I've just excommunicated you from my circle. Because the fact of the matter is, I can't trust you. A disloyal person is a person that you cannot trust. And like Maya Angelou said, once you show me who you are, I believe you. Now, should I stayed on code? I did. Because I told you this shit happened in 2016. It's now 2026, 10 years later, and I never said a word. But my actions have spoke louder than any words could possibly say. Because I dismissed them from my sphere. They can't talk to me. They can't communicate with me. I ain't got no holler for them. The way I used to treat them, I don't treat them that way no more. They gets no love. They gets nothing. 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 Nothing from me. When I see them, I'm like this. I stare at them like they air. Because you're invisible to me now. You chose a side. Stay over there. I ain't mad at you. I want to thank you, though, for letting me know. I stayed on code in terms of my belief, my feelings and my belief. But I didn't publicly blast them. I didn't put them out there. I didn't shame these black people. I don't say, here's the video, this woman said this and this and that. I didn't do none of that. I said noted and kept it pushing. And you know what God did in the meantime? He continued to bless me and continue to increase my standing in life. So black people, I want to take the time for us to address staying on code. We can take a page out of these white people book in Mississippi in the young Nolan Wells case, where immediately they all got on code. Right, wrong, good, bad, or indifferent. Now we may have our opinions on what happened in that situation, and we may feel that they did something to that boy. But they is on code. For the sheriff Ledbetter, from the coroner, the medical examiner who did the autopsy, from the judge of the boy mama, stepson mama, to the people on the boats, to the 3,000 to 4,000 people that was on that island. Everybody went to that island that day. They went back home, except for Nolan Wells. Now, he wasn't the only black person on that island, but he was the only black person on the caravan of boats that went to the island. And that caravan of boats came back with everybody except him. But what did come back with him is a cell phone. Yeah, something is questionable there. Something is definitely questionable there. And then you also see black people out here talking down on and degrading Attorney Benjamin Crump and Al Sharpton, talking about their ambulance chasers, and they only show up if money is involved. Well, in this situation, who are they going to sue? Who are they going to sue? Who would you sue? I think their motivations for being there now is primarily a civil rights situation. For them to get justice, for them to learn what actually happened to their son. Why all these 3,000, 4,000 people went to this island and only their son didn't come back. If you were a parent and that happened to your child, God forbid, a bad thing, you would want to know too. There's also people who look like us that are talking about the mom and the family for having this large amount of money raised to help them. Well, initially their fund said they only needed $12,000 to pay for the funeral. People began to donate and it exceeded that. So they say it's a money grab. They're earning money off their dead son. Do you think this woman want money instead of her own child? This woman is in pain and she's mourning. Why are we not on code? Why can't we rally behind this family who's a victim of something? Something happened to their kid. Their kid didn't just up and die. Something happened. Something happened to cause that drowning. Whether he missed the boat and tried to swim back and thought he could and got caught by a current, or they did something to that boy, threw him overboard, and he drowned. Something happened. But they have a right to know. Why can't we stay on code and support them? So, the people who are on code, that they have contributed $850,000 total now, that's where their GoFundMe is at. It's not all black people. It's a lot of different nationalities. So shout out to them, because they stand on code. Check yourself. Check yourself about staying on code. You don't always got to agree. You ain't always got to agree because you're just black. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you disagree, keep that shit to yourself and address it in our inner circle. And on that note, it is a social media app called Mariah, and I will post a link to that. It is created for black people by a black person. If you want to talk your shit and pop your shit and be in disagreement with black people, talk about it there. Talk about it there. Let's run it up. Go get your platform profile, and you also can generate and earn content money from, you can have an income generated from content posting on there as well. I'll post a link in the comments. All right. Listen, I'm out of time and I'm out of energy, and I got to go and handle my business. Then I got to get to the mosque to make my prayer. All right, y'all. Anyway, listen to me. Listen to me. Black people, get on code. Get on code. Get on code. And I'm not only speaking to you, I'm speaking to myself as well, because we all need to improve. We all need to show more love to one another, because as you can see, it's things happening in this world and in this administration that's geared towards triggering us to make us wild out for the ultimate game that they want to play. Look at the 2030 game that they're trying to play. It all ends with the race war. See, what they're doing is this, and always remember this equation. If we have this group hate this group, and we make them think that group is the enemy, the ICE killings, the ICE raids, the ICE deportations, black boy stabs white boy, kills him, black boy goes out on a boat with white friends, he come back dead. They're all doing these things to trigger us, to make us get out into that street and fight. What they call chimping out. And they always like to brag and say, you're only 13%, 15% of the population, but you're over 50% in representation in the prisons. The prison industrial complex is on the stock market. It's a money grab and a new form of slavery. Don't be tricked into the bullshit. Listen closely. It's time to get on code. It ain't even about wait for a savior and wait for a leader. Because all the people that we recognized as leaders, they killed. And if they didn't kill them, they sold out. What they say about Al Sharpton, he a federal informant? Bruh. They don't give you airtime on a nationally syndicated news show. They ain't giving you $1 billion, and they don't want something in return. Because when you have the game being played by them, where this make them hate this group, make this group hate that group, and they'll both point them both group at that group and say they're the problem, while all that bullshit is going on down here, them up here is getting richer. And they can do all their machinations, because all your attention is on the bullshit down here. However, if we realize that together, that group, and that group are more than them up here, then we're powerful and we can affect change. But they got us down here in the minutia and the bullshit. And it's people that need to have their critical thinking skills hat on to realize the game is being played. Because they playing the game on the backs of us. Just look at the board. Just imagine the Monopoly board sitting on our backs. You got a black population's back, other person's back, other population's back, other population's back. But if we all stand up, the board flip over. The game is over. And that's what they don't want. So let's start with ourselves. Let's learn how to begin to stay on code. You feel me? And that doesn't mean that you got to agree with everything. But voice your dispute amongst one another. Don't never let it be seen outside of us that you're not standing with us. Take a page out of them white people involved in the Nolan Wells situation. They is on code like a mug, okay? For real, for real. Anyway, that's all I have for y'all today. I probably won't be back for a while, but if I do, run the video up. I want to thank you and I appreciate everybody who's running these videos up, because I truly appreciate it. I'm on a mission. I'll announce it soon what the reason is behind why I'm doing this. But you know what? It's something good, because Hollywood is always up to something good. All right, y'all. Y'all have a great and wonderful day. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.